Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. Happy Tuesday from this serene, beautiful fountain here in the Orange Circle. It is a wonderful, beautiful Tuesday morning in Southern California. And you know, this vlog channel, this TheDailyWoo channel, it's always different every day. Some days I go to theme parks, some days I go to movie locations, some days I drive around in my van, some days I give you pressing issues that are in my mind, and then sometimes we just like to sit on a bench and talk together. And that is what we are going to do today. We are going to have we're going to have a nice, quiet, tell me if you know what movie this is from. Perhaps we should have a nice, quiet chat. Now, when I say nice, quiet chat, that does not mean I am using the profane word that sounds like that. Nor am I talking about William Shatner. It was actually from a movie starring Gene Wilder. It was not Gene Wilder that said that. It was a guy, the way he talked when he said, chat, we should have a nice quiet chat. He said, nice quiet chat. So let me know if you know what movie that is from. So let's talk about YouTube. Oh, by the way, before we start talking about YouTube, I'm drinking a coffee. I got a different kind of coffee than I normally get. This coffee is like a Bavarian cream coffee. They were out of the regular traditional coffee, so I said, heck it, let's go with a Bavarian cream coffee. Look at this little guy. He's over there. He's over there looking at the squirrels and taking photos. It's so cool when you see like kids having a good time and how children are very excited with the things that really are important. They say the best things in life are free, and little children are a perfect example of that. I get very happy, which is probably part of the reason that I have kind of like a childlike disposition in my heart and in my mind, because I am that way too. I get very excited about things that a lot of adults would not get excited about. I can look at something that normally somebody else will walk by and be like, oh, that's pretty interesting, I don't care about that. I would get overly joyed about that like a child would. Which, if you watch these vlogs and the main channel videos, you probably know exactly where I am coming from, and you might actually agree with that philosophy, and that might have been why you started watching these videos and actually latched on to this whole circle of goodness that we have created together, you and I, this friendship that you and I have built up together. And all that stemmed from YouTube, and I am very thankful for YouTube being in my life, because without YouTube my life would be completely different. I worked retail for a very, very long time, for over two straight decades, full-time retail, working at Walmart, Publix. I worked at Office Max, I worked at a feed store, I worked at a store called Winn-Dixie. Now, all of these are not in every state across the US of A or in the other countries where everyone is watching this video, but I'm sure you could probably do a quick Google search and realize that those are our grocery stores, and those are all retail type establishments, not only grocery stores but also office supply stores and things like that. So I did that for 20 years, up until I was 37 years old. I quit my job, I moved into my van, and I started traveling around, filming weird, wacky, wonderful things across the US of A. And I did not think that anyone would ever really watch my videos. I was doing it more of as a diary for myself. And sometimes I forget about that when people start leaving comments, negative comments about what I should be doing, what I should be filming. They are not happy with this video or that video or the video last week or the video in the future. They are going to be disappointed on the topic or the subject or the location that I go to. And I have to remind myself sometimes when I read those comments that really they do not matter so much, because I started this whole thing for me. I started this whole YouTube thing as a way to look back at what I have done. First with the Adam the Woo channel, and then now with this, the TheDailyWoo channel. Both channels. The Adam the Woo channel is the adventure channel where I take footage, I edit it down, it's a little bit more presentable, a little bit more, I don't want to use the word professional because I am not a professional at all. I'm the most amateur filmmaker that ever existed, and I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me, but I don't think that really matters. I think it matters about going out, getting off the couch, going and doing things. So I started that Adam the Woo channel, and then I started this, the Daily Woo channel, as an unedited, more integral part, a more intimate part, so you can actually get to know me a little bit better, more than what is on that Adam the Woo channel. Quick pause alert. I want to actually let you know also that you don't have to pause this, but I'm pausing my brain. On the Adam the Woo channel, I actually went out to Disneyland yesterday and I filmed all of the Season of the Force stuff. Go to the Adam the Woo channel and check out the new Season of the Force opening day Disneyland video. And also, people have also been saying, you should do more Disney, you should do less Disney. I do not know what to do about the Disney conundrum. If more Disney is good, if less Disney is good. People are very adamant in the comments about me not going to Disney so much, and I understand that, because life is about experiencing new things and doing new things. And if you've noticed, especially here on this Daily Woo channel, I have not done a Disneyland vlog in quite some time. So I changed it up a little bit yesterday and I actually went and filmed a main channel video because the Season of the Force stuff is super awesome. I love Star Wars and I love Disney, so it was a nice little collaboration. Let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about what YouTube has become and what people's philosophy and mindset that are YouTube creators is, and how YouTube has changed a little bit. Now, I do not want to say I am one of the original YouTubers, because I am not. Most of the original YouTubers, the guys who are very popular, the most popular vloggers on YouTube started in like 2007, 2008-ish. I did not start doing videos until basically 2011, give or take. I did do a few videos at the end of 2010, but I did not officially start doing YouTube, quote-unquote, full-time until the very last month, October, November, and December of 2011. So I guess I am the second wave of YouTubers. There are a lot of YouTubers who have actually started creating YouTube content. Now, if you are a YouTube creator, you know what I'm talking about. A YouTube creator is someone who basically makes videos, puts vlogs out there, puts content out there, no matter what it is. Not everyone does vlogs. Not everyone talks about their personal life. Not everyone goes to theme parks, movie locations, filming locations. In fact, that is a very small portion of what YouTube is. A lot of YouTubers just sit in their house or in their room and they talk about pertinent subjects or pop culture subject or whatever the very popular subject matter of today. Like, they will search Google, they will search Facebook news feeds, the trending topics, or Yahoo trending news, and they will talk about that. I don't really do that so much. I think I'm in the very small percentage of actually what certain YouTubers do. There are not a lot of YouTubers who go to abandoned places, go to theme parks, and go to movie locations. Now that I say that, I now have to take a step back and actually correct myself, because since I started doing YouTube a few years ago, gosh, it's been almost 4 to 5 years now since I have started doing that. All those things that I mentioned that no one was doing, now more and more people are doing them, even though they are not on the upper echelon and the upper percentile of what YouTubers are doing. There are a lot more people doing those subject matters that I just mentioned. And what is the reason for that? The reason for that, I think, is because people see someone else doing something and they get inspired. And I do not think that is a negative thing. A lot of people, when they do videos, there is a lot of competition. Oh, thank you. Someone is honking over there about the competition aspect. See, not all competition is negative. In fact, that guy was honking, giving competition a thumbs up. Competition is not always a bad thing, because competition means that you or someone else inspired someone else to do what you are doing. So I encourage everyone, if they are inclined to grab a video camera and put their life out there into the world, I highly encourage you to do that. That being said, I want to talk a little bit about how YouTube works, how you can get subscribers, how people find you and look for subject matters and search for things on the internet. Now, this is an eternal question that everyone who creates a YouTube channel wants to know. Let me give you a little bit of backstory and input basically on how I started this vlog channel. My thought process was, I am not going to start this channel, the Daily Vlog channel, until, pardon me one second. I am not going to start this vlog channel until my main channel, YouTube/AdamTheWoo, hit 10,000 subscribers. The reason I had that in mind was I figured 10% of my core audience group, circle of friends, family, acquaintances that I have not met, the circle of goodness who support me on the Adam the Woo channel, 10%, my thought process was 10% would actually transfer over to this, the Daily Woo channel. Quick pause, look at this car, look at this truck. Anyone know what year that truck is? Pause it and leave a comment down below. That truck right there, look at that thing, that Chevrolet. What year? Anybody know what year that Chevrolet truck was? So if you know, please leave a comment down below. What were we talking about? Oh yes, this, the Daily Woo channel. Now this Daily Woo channel content is really a different stem, a different tier, if you will, of my main channel videos. For example, the main channel videos were created not only as a diary, but they were also created for me to go to places that maybe someone possibly would actually search on YouTube. Like let's say someone was interested in an abandoned prison in their hometown. They would search the name of that abandoned prison, and who would be showing them that? Me. I would be showing them that. So my whole philosophy when starting videos, other than having the diary aspect of my life, was also to go to places that someone would be interested in. And I want to give that tidbit of advice to anyone out there who is starting to do videos. If you're going to start off at the ground level with no subscribers, with 0 subscribers, and start doing vlogs, it's very, very tough to get people to watch your videos. So what I would suggest, what I would encourage you today is pick a topic that people are going to be searching for. For example, if this was my very first video, if right now my very first upload of all time was this video, sitting on a bench talking basically about nothing that anyone would search for, the only people who are going to watch this are people who have already subscribed and have a vested interest in what I am doing. But if I had no subscribers, then a nice quiet chat on this bench with a cup of coffee would probably not get a lot of views. And for a new YouTuber who thinks that they would actually start doing videos and gain a little bit of mediocre popularity off of doing vlogs sitting on a bench, probably will be very discouraged. So my advice, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. If you start doing videos, try to go to places that people are going to search. Try to go to events that people are going to search for. So that is basically how I kind of started, how I started to gain a little bit of popularity. And I hate to use the word popular because in the grand scheme of YouTubedness, I am on the very bottom level of YouTube popularity. There are people way bigger than I am, way more popular than I am, have way more prominent things to say. I am just a guy who used to live in my van and travel around and see wonderful things, and now I film filming locations and theme parks and fly places and do things, and my life has dramatically changed since those days of working at the feed store, throwing feed and stocking groceries, and I am eternally, completely thankful and humble that my life has taken a turn for the good, for the positive, and so many people that I have met in my life, you guys who say hello if I'm out and about at the parks or if I'm out and about anywhere, say hello, shake my hand, give me a pat on the back, take a picture with me. All that means so much to me. You have no idea how grateful and thankful I was. Now the topic of this vlog was going to be about how YouTube has changed. It kind of like has twisted a little bit to basically how I started on YouTube and how thankful I am. You never know where these vlogs are going to go. The original subject was going to be about how YouTube has changed. I guess we could probably talk about a little bit about that as well. When YouTube first started, or when I first started doing YouTube 4 or 5 years ago, like I was saying, I am not one of the first YouTubers, but I am on that second wave of YouTubers. There weren't a lot of people doing abandoned locations, which I should bring this up as well. I do not know if I am the first. You could probably do some Columbo-like research, thought process, or skills on your own and figure this out. There were not a heck of a lot of people who were actually going into abandoned places and filming their face. Look back on this. I do not want to say that I started the whole showing your face in an abandoned location, but there were not a whole lot of people who had the ignorance, like I had, to film themselves in an abandoned place. And I always felt that a lot of people call themselves urbexers or urban explorers. I never use that terminology, but I guess for the sake of argument, you could say that what I was doing was urban exploring. A lot of urban explorers around that time kept themselves hidden. They blocked their face, they blurred their face out of fear of trespass charges. And trust me, based on my past in the last year, I totally understand where they are coming from. Trust me, I do not talk about these issues out and about, do not give specifics on it, but they were probably very wise for not showing their face on film going into abandoned buildings, because I have had some recourses in my life that actually stem from that. But also, you got to take the good with the bad with the good. There are bad things that happen because of that, but trust me, the good was way more, because you guys probably never would have found me if it were not for those abandoned videos, as well as the movie locations, theme parks, and the plethora of other types of content that I have done. But back when I started, there were not a whole lot of people doing that. And people used to I used to do like podcast interviews. People would say, why do you show your face? Aren't you scared something is going to happen? And I always use this terminology. Have you ever heard the term skateboarding is not a crime? Skateboarding years ago was very, very frowned upon, very negative. If a skateboarder was skating right through here, this is like 10, 15, 20 years ago, a police officer would run across the road, confiscate his board, give him a hard time because he was skateboarding. And then the whole thing started, skateboarding is not a crime, skateboarding is not a crime. People would graffiti it, it became like a slogan for a company. And now skateboarding is not a crime. Skateboarding is in the mainstream and very, very popular. And when I used to do interviews, back when I first started doing videos on podcasts, people would ask me questions, and I would always say that. The skateboarding mentality, which is now sort of kind of mainstream, actually it is not kind of mainstream, it is full on mainstream. I think that is what's going to happen with exploring, with going into abandoned buildings. And even though I was not 100% factual and correct in assuming that, I think it is starting to trickle to that descent. I think it's actually starting to go that way. It is becoming very popular, very trendy, very exciting for the general population, and almost in the mainstream. How many times do you actually see trending articles on the internet, on all these different social media sites about top 10 abandoned location, top 10 movie locations that are abandoned, and all of these places, most of the time the person who is filming them or taking a picture in them are actually taking a selfie or a really cool photo of them standing in the spot or doing a vlog like this in an abandoned building. But back when I started doing videos, almost every comment I got on the videos was always, you are a fool, you are foolish, you are an idiot, you are an imbecile for actually showing your face. And in some ways, they were correct, because I did get repercussions on some locations. But few and far between does that even make any sense? Few and far between does my mind actually think that that was a bad idea, because it all worked out. And now everyone is kind of doing that as well. So a lot of people are going to abandoned places. And people always say, go to more abandoned, talking to me. Adam, go to more abandoned places. We need to see more abandoned theme parks. We need to see more abandoned hospitals. We need to see more abandoned. And I'm still doing the abandoned videos. I have just stepped it down a notch because of what I just mentioned. And also, there are a lot of friends of mine who do videos as well. There are a lot of great explorers on YouTube that you can actually search. Actually, a few of them. This is Dan Bell. You can look him up. He is a really good explorer. He goes to a lot of abandoned like hotels. He has a whole hotel series. I've been friends with him a long time. A lot of people think we do not know each other, but Dan and I actually went, he actually went with me on a lot of video locations and was not on the camera, and as before he actually started doing his exploring videos. So look up This Is Dan Bell. And also Exploring with Josh is a great YouTube channel for urban exploring. Check that one out as well. Look up Exploring with Josh, and I must say, he is doing very well. He's gaining a lot of popularity on YouTube. He does some really legit locations. So go over there, tell him I sent you. As well as in Florida, some friends of mine, the Proper people, are actually really good at putting together great videos of exploring. So those are my 3 abandoned YouTubers that I am friends with that I would love for you guys to go to check out. So if you ever need a fix when it comes to abandoned locations, go over to those YouTube channels and watch them. They do it way better. Honestly, they actually do exploring way better than I do or have ever done. I do it with a little bit more grain of salt, a little bit more comedy, which is also another interesting thing, because when I first started doing any videos with any humor, people were very negative, especially when it comes to exploring. Because back then, no one was really doing videos so much of exploring. There were a few people doing it, but it was not as popular, and now a lot of people are doing it. And there's actually more than that than the 3 I just mentioned. Those are just the first 3 that popped into my head. So that's about it. Hope you guys are having a great day. This video, this vlog was basically, I don't know. You know what? If you made it to the end of this vlog, hashtag heckit underneath here. Hashtag the word heckit if you made it to the end of this vlog. Was this vlog informative? Did you learn something new? What do you think about these vlogs versus me going to locations in vlogs? I try to mix it up. I'm trying to do more insightful, topical, personal, one-on-one or one-on however many people are watching this conversations on the vlog channel, and keeping more of the adventures over on the Adam the Woo channel. What do you guys think about that subject? Hashtag heck if you made it to the end of this vlog. And also, check down below for my t-shirts, adamthewoo.spreadshirt.com. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to finish my coffee, sit here for a little bit. Oh, by the way, finger still hurts a little bit. I don't know if it's really badly infected, but still a little bit sore. I think I spilled some coffee in it. Maybe coffee is the solution to an infected finger. I will keep you guys posted over the next series of days on how the finger is doing. Trying to get more personal in these vlogs and separate the vlogs from the main channel. Please go watch that new main channel video. And please, if you want to support me in this whole video conundrum that we have gotten in together, there's also Adam the Woo on Patreon. And of course, even more importantly than that, adamthewoo.spreadshirt.com. Get yourself an Adam the Woo t-shirt and one of those new Adam the Woo trucker hats, and you will be a full-fledged part of the circle of goodness, and I completely am thankful for that. I'm really glad to have you in my life. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.